Okay, gang, you seen the thumbnail, so you know exactly what we got going on this video here. Let me formally introduce you guys to Project MADHOG, aka Chuck Bagger. I'm going to be taking this Mad Dog frame that I got here, and we're going to make our own little scooter bagger, or fake Harley, whatever you want to call it. But we're going to take these bags and put them on this here. Let me show you guys what I got going on. Now, as you notice, I have a short case 139 QMB engine. This has the 87.9 millimeter piston in it, bore kit, which is, I'll show you what it came with. It is a SMM brand. I built this motor. I had a whole video of this motor being built, guys, but somehow I can't find the SD card. So when I do find that, I'll post that. But yeah, check this out. We got the knockoff Mikuni carburetor going on. There, that's not a real one. That is the PKW knockoff Mikuni. So we're not gonna sit here in front like it's the real one. Alright guys, I forgot what year Mad Dog frame this is, but this thing is brand new. It's never been on the road, never been assembled. So we're going ahead and just start its life off as being what we want it to be. So check it out up front here. You see we got the big wheel going on, right? This is a 16-inch wheel from a Lance PCH scooter I had years ago. And that wheel kind of sparked me to wanting to do this. This idea has been in my head for years. I've had this frame for almost 2 years. So, alright guys, so we're going to jump right into it. First thing I need to do is I need to attach the motor to the frame. So as you can see here, I don't have the traditional Mad Dog motor mount. It's sitting right here. Well, not the one that came from this bike, but here's one is what it looked like. Okay guys, so we got a normal standard 50cc GY6 mount. I need to cut this mount and extend it, because see, reason I'm going with a short case engine, because we're going to be putting the bags up here. You saw it on the thumbnail, but we're going to be putting the bags up here, and we don't want the wheel to stick past the bags, because we're going to do that whole custom chopper bagger flavor with this one right here. You know, I want the wheel completely hidden, tucked up in here behind the bags. So then I got to build a custom shock mount, which I'm thinking is going to go right off of that bar there. So alright guys, so I'm gonna pull that mount. I gotta get some measurements real quick with my tape or with my yardstick, and we're gonna start putting this thing together. Now in this video, what I want to do is just get the motor mounted where it's sitting where I want it, and all of this here, all of this metal for the hold the battery, the CDI and everything, all of this has to come off. I have to cut all of this metal off to go ahead and fit the leg shield. Now this leg shield I will not be using for this build because it is broken. I can fix it, but I don't feel like fixing it. I have one that is perfect, no chips in it, so we'll be using that one, but I'm going to use this one for mock-up. And we got to figure out on this thing here how to mount our floorboard. This is the floorboard we're going with. You saw it on the thumbnail. So we're going to get all that together. I got to try to figure out whether I'm going to have a battery down in the floor like how this floorboard has a battery access, or I'm going to cut this whole little deal for the battery out and use my Mad Dog tank right there in here, and then just figure out a place to put the battery, because I'm kind of thinking it's going to be easier to relocate the battery than it will be to relocate and fabricate and make another gas tank. So we're just gonna go for it and see where everything falls in place. Okay gang, to make this whole thing work, I'm going to have to cut this stock mount and extend it about 6 inches. You know, I want it 6 inches out from its current position. So we're going to bring it about out to about right there. So if you can still see that, I don't know. We're going to chop this sucker in half, extend it out 6 inches, and make our own custom mount. Now I tried to use the MADHOG mount when I first thought about that, but that's going to set this wheel way back here, and I don't want to move the bags too far back. It's going to look funky. You want to keep it all tight together, you know. So I have some steel here that I'm going to go ahead and cut my extension pieces out of, and that's about it, guys. So what I'm going to do is get started. And the best thing about this ruler is, guys, this is about as wide as I want it, and I can mark it to the 6 inches. So I got enough here to make a mount. Now with this mount being the way that it is, the 50 cc's have this little peg here that would actually have like a rubber mount garment bushing that would keep the mount from flopping, you know, up and down as you ride. So what I will be doing is taking the MADHOG mount, this piece here, the motor mount stabilizer bar is what we're gonna call this. We're gonna take this stabilizer bar out of here and make a perch for it and put it in the middle of our mount and weld it in here somewhere across to keep this motor mount from flexing. Now I have been on this bike working already, and I cut out the old motor mount stabilizer from where it was. Move the seat, and it's set right here. You can see where I cut it out on both ends. So I need to locate it. I had it about a month ago when I put this bike on the table after I finished the last video of the Lance PCH 125 bottom mount, and now I can't seem to find it. Okay guys, I'm gonna go ahead and get started on this. I'm gonna locate that bar for the mount, and we're gonna just go ahead and jump right into this and get this thing going. Okay gang, I got the motor mount off and got it cut. It's cut approximately 1.5 inches back from the back of the hole here, the tube. What do we call that little piece? So I cut it 1.5 inches back, and I say approximately because got a little crazy with that cut, but the other one's straight up, you know. All right, so now I got my 4 strips that I'm gonna cut out to use to extend this piece marked out here. 1, 2, 3, and 4, top and bottoms for this side here. Now don't worry about it, these things are straight, and I put my laser eye on it. They're going to be perfect. Okay, so we go ahead and cut these strips out, guys, and we're gonna clean them up, and we're gonna go and get the can't talk. We're going to go ahead and extend our motor mount. All right, got our 4 strips cut out to extend our motor mount. So pretty much what I'm going to do is try to line this plate up here with the bar here, because that's how I measured it. So that's where my 6 inches, that's where my 6 inches come into play, right there. So yep, that is what we are going to do. So I'm going to clean this metal up, guys, and we're going to crank up the old flux welder right here, and we're going to start buzzing this sucker together. All right guys, got it stitched together, looking pretty good. Now I'm going to go ahead and shape out some sides for it, inside and outside, and kind of fully box this thing in so it'll be good and strong. So I'm going to go ahead and just cut these templates out, get those sides welded on, and then we're going to fit the mount. Okay gang, here's the finished product. Got it all painted up, ready to go ahead and install it. I found that bar, that mount bar that I was talking about, so we'll have to weld another bar here across, but I'm gonna do that a little bit later. I just kind of want to get it up there now and just see exactly where my wheel comes out towards the back. Did I do it right? Did I mess up? You know, so let me go ahead and get this installed. And then this bar here, like I said, it came from up here, so we're going to move it down a little bit. Now it still kind of fits in the frame, which is cool. I got some gaps I might have to weld up, but it's no big deal. So all right guys, let me get this thing bolted on, and gonna mock up a spot to put the mount, and then we'll start looking at the shock mount. So we got to get it in. I want to be, hopefully the engine is close enough to be able to weld a shock mount here, and everything will mesh together real nicely. All right, let me get this engine mount bolted on. We'll be right back. Okay, got the motor mount in, and I'm noticing a couple issues. All right, one, this bar here is not going to be able to be welded in because the engine sits too far forward. So I'm going to have to figure another way to stabilize this motor mount, because the old one had a little nipple short piece of tubing welded off here that went inside a rubber mount that set, you know, in there and kept it from going too far up, too far down. A little dampening rubber inside, but okay, that's it. That's a small issue. I can figure that out. But the main thing is right now our wheel is lined up. The thing just dropped. Wheel is lined up, it's in the center, so that's great. And I'm also looking at this thing now because, you know, I'm using my scissor lift here to kind of get the height that I want that motor mount to sit at before I make some type of mount for it. And I can take it up. You see it gets too close there. I can take it down. Now my engine does need to come down just a little bit more because it's not level. So I'm thinking maybe go ahead and find something shorter than this battery I got it sitting on to get it level before I start burning anything else in. Now the front of this sucker does sit high because of that 16-inch front wheel. So this thing has a rake. I mean, it's like, but you know, I'm not opposed to it. I don't hate it, you know. But I can cut the springs a couple inches to bring it down because I do have some room to play with it in between here. So I can come down just a little bit by cutting those springs. Or run to the junkyard and get me some Chevy valve springs and stack them in there until I get the desired height. But I'm not opposed to it being high, you know. I don't hate it. Now, I got this shock here. This RFY shock, you know, the one with the fake accumulator on the bottom. And some people swear to God it's not fake, but I try to pump air in this thing in and it's definitely fake. But pull the seat back up. Just locked itself while we were sitting here. Okay. Now I got plenty of room for my throttle cable and everything. That's great. But we are going to be able to use that bar for the shock mount. So I just need to go over to one of the old parts bikes and cut off the shock mount, and we can burn that in right there. The only thing is I just got to figure out this mount. That's it. So now I'm thinking maybe weld another nipple here. Maybe something that drops down. Maybe just go ahead and cut the piece off that the frame that this engine came off of, and do that up. I don't know. We'll figure it out. So we'll be back in a few, guys. It's getting a little late now. I'm gonna resume this in the morning. Plus I'm hungry. So I'll see you guys in the morning. All right, guys, it is the next morning. I've already gotten started. So I went to our little parts bike, which is sitting out here. That's the parts bike. That's the bike, the engine for this MADHOG. Oh, my bad. MADHOG project came off of, aka Chuck Bagger. So I went ahead and I removed the engine mount that was on it. This is the bit that I want to cut off of the sucker here. I need this rubber garment. I want to cut this piece off, and I cut the spot that the mount fed up into. There's rubber went in there like so, and set on the end to stabilize that motor mount. So now what I want to do is it's not going to fit on like that because it's way too high. I'm gonna have to weld it under the bottom like so. So I'm gonna try to figure out the best way to do it, because we have 3 inches between the motor mount and this bar on the parts bike. I'm thinking on this one we had like 2. It was less than that. It wasn't a lot. It's like 2 inches or so. Yeah, well, yeah, more like an inch. So when I put this motor mount on, I'm only going to have an inch to play with. So this piece here is probably going to sit something like that. Because, making a lot of noise. This here, piece here, sticks out about an inch. So it's gonna be direct plug in, you know, it's gonna be close. So I'm thinking I'm just gonna cut this off, weld it onto here to this bar. I'm gonna have to trim this down, but I'm really not worried about it right now. I just kind of want to go ahead and get it on, and then we'll worry about that in a second. All right, guys, let me do a little bit of figuring, and we're gonna do a little bit of welding, and I'll cut you guys back in and let you see what I figured out. All right, gang, got the mount on. Got that little piece welded on the back. The little rubber grommet, whatever the damn thing is right there. The front part of the mount. It's all welded on. Went ahead and spritzed it up. Motor's already bolted up and everything. So now we just got to figure out the shock. So I'm gonna look around. I don't know if I want to use this shock, but I'll be damned if it ain't pretty much right where I need it to be. So I have the kickstand from this motor that is going to work good for a shock mount. One of these tabs right here, and I think I'll just cut it off. I'm gonna have to waddle that hole out just a little bit bigger. I'm gonna grab my old unicorn bit and waddle it out, but yep, I think that's gonna work great for a shock mount. That one right there is the one I'm going for. So I'm gonna cut that off, guys, and mock that up, weld it up, and we're gonna have a roller. I'll be right back. All right, got it cut off. Just gonna take the old flap disc now and carve me an arch in it to fit this pipe. So it's gonna set it out about just like that, guys. And that'll work for me. So first, let me go ahead and waddle this hole out, and then I'm gonna go ahead and arch the back side to fit this pipe, and I'm gonna weld this sucker in. All right, guys, we have a roller now. The shock mount is in place, welded. I have to put a couple shims in there to straighten that shock up because it's a little wider than the shock is, that mount. But we have a roller. It's going to be a little bit easier now dealing with it. Okay, I think now what I want to go ahead and do, guys, is come up here and cut all this extra metal off that I'm not going to be needing, that's in the way. So I'm gonna cut that off and go ahead and get the leg shield and try to line it up where it should be. Now, this metal bracket here, I'm going to be cutting off and reusing. I'm thinking it needs to be welded down a little bit lower so that it can mount, it can bolt up right where the leg shield is. It's not that far off. And you kind of can see the hole there and that. So I don't know. Let me go ahead and just get the whacking some of this metal off, and I'll be right back with you guys. All right, got all that metal cut out from around the column, and it fits in there just nice. But if you can see, we have a slight little problem. Now my stem of my triple tree is a little short. You know, it sits below the top of this here, so I'm going to have to make an extension for that. It's no big deal because I still have another triple tree here, and it's perfect for what I need because I needed to have that hole. So I'm gonna whack this sucker off here and weld it up top here. And now I'm looking for my handlebar clamp. Just had it, okay, yeah. Because here's our clamp. This is our handlebar clamp, so This is going to work perfect because I needed to have that hole. So there we go there. I'm just going to chop that off and weld that up top. Now, I'm glad I have a leg shield for mock-up because to make it fit the way I want to, I've had to cut some little relief holes on both sides for the frame. You know, this thing sits up the way I want it. And it's kind of weird. The MADHOG frame is kind of, it goes at a like a different angle, so when I put this up, the back end goes up, but I need it to be like this. I need the shield to be all the way that way. Step back and let you guys see what I'm saying. See, the back is up and it's above the seat. But now where I really want it is here. So it's no big deal. This thing has some flex in it, so I'm gonna be able to make mounts for it and bolt that sucker down where I want it to. And I need to make mounts here. But now I cut the battery box out because I want to see if I can use the stock MADHOG gas tank that I have. See, I can torque myself and grab it. Okay, we got it. Yeah, I want to see if I can use this gas tank. So, not really sure how it's going to work, but that's what you run into when you're doing custom fabrication. Issues that need to be worked out. Alright, let's set the MADHOG gas tank up here. And set our floor on top. Yeah, okay. And it's gonna make it sit a little high. Let's look under the bottom. Yeah, that's gonna make it sit really high. I'm not liking that. Not liking that at all. Now what I can do, I probably can't, because I can't cut these mounts for the gas tank and make it go lower, because it's going to hit the frame there with the gas tank. You know, I could cut this piece out. This the mount I just welded in. Alright, I'm gonna have to scratch my head on this one, guys, for a minute and figure it out. But let's see. Yeah, let me do a little bit of brainstorming. But I mean, that will work perfect because I could put the battery top cover back on to hide the gas tank. Maybe. Or I can make some type of cover to go over here to hide that. I don't know. Let me move some things around for a second and I'll tune you guys right back in. You know what, gang, on second thought, I think I'm going to go ahead and make the mount that I need to attach the bag. It's going to need two mounts. This one I'm not so worried about right now because I'm going to figure it out after I figure out the floor. Now, this is going to be cut in plastic. It's going to probably piss me off in the middle of doing this. Luckily, I have 3 floorboards and 3 leg shields that I can cut up and play with to get it right. So let's just while we're already welding today, let me go ahead and finish welding. I just got to make a little L bracket. I'm just gonna make an L bracket to go from top of the pipe down to the side where right there where the D on the MADHOG is, and weld that in. That way I can put a bolt through and bolt it in. And the bags will be bolt on and removable. So let me go ahead and work on that real quick. Oh man, talk about getting your money's worth out of a cutoff wheel. This is the same wheel I started this project with, man, and I think it's just about done. Just cut this last strip. Okay guys, I got my bag mount brackets started. I still need to weld them on the bottom side, but I got the top done. I just basically came off of this seat latch here and just welded the L bracket. You know, I could have probably just went and bought an L bracket and welded it on, but hey, we want to use up the metal that we already bought. So yeah, that's what I did. I still have to weld it on the bottom. Got the other side done. Got to weld the bottom too, but check this out, guys. Now I got to remove these stickers so I can grind this sucker up and get a little weld right there. But okay, I'm gonna show you guys a little trick I learned a little while ago about how to remove stickers if you don't want to leave the film behind. So what you do is get you some carb cleaner, it doesn't matter the brand, or brake cleaner, and go ahead and just kind of start peeling the sticker back. Just get it on the corner and spray your carb spray as you peel, and that will just let that adhesive release. I mean, no effort is involved. You don't have to pull, you don't have to struggle, and it comes straight off. So there's a little tip for me, a little bit of knowledge. And there you go. Oh, sticker broke, but coming off perfectly. Just rip that up because I'm not going to be using it. Show you right here on this corner here. Just get it started and spray a little bit behind it, and it'll just start peeling off, and it won't leave any residue. Now this thing sat outside for a while, so these stickers are brittle. They are super brittle. Alright, gang, I'm gonna go ahead and get the rest of these stickers removed so I can weld this bad boy up and get it on. Get these bags on so we can move on to the next part. Okay, got the bag mount brackets welded in and everything. So I got my level up here on the bag bracket. I got it dead center. Now what I went ahead and did is put a little punch with my spring-loaded punch right here in dead center of that hole, so my drill bit don't walk around. Now I'm going to go ahead and drill out that hole, and this is what we got here. This is how we're going to make that front hole. We got the Doyle nut rivet set from Harbor Freight. I've been waiting for a chance to a project that I needed to buy this thing, and I finally found it. So we're going to find us some nuts that fits one of these, which might be this one here, and we're going to rivet us a nut in there so we can just make this whole bracket 100% take offable. It's not a word, but we're gonna make it so we can take this bracket off. Okay guys, all right, let me go ahead and drill this hole. I'm gonna get a rivet in, and I'll tune you guys back in when I do that. Okay, got my hole drill. Now I can insert this nut rivet. So when I put this little tool here and the Doyle nut rivet gun on it, it's gonna pull that thing tight, and I have a mount where I can bolt and unbolt the bags. I'm not sure if I'm going to put one in here in the back. Might need to. That way I can just have two of these M8 bolts with a 12mm head on it. Make it real easy for me. So that's what I'm gonna do. Okay gang, I got one of the nut rivets on the gun, all screwed down. Now this thing comes with several different attachments for different nuts and bolts, and these are the attachments that go on the tip here. So let me go ahead and put this sucker in. Now this is my first time ever using this, so hopefully I ain't gotta drill this sucker out. Now from what I saw in videos online, you guys gotta press it in and give this sucker a good squeeze. I think that's it. Alright, unscrew it. You guys see it? Alright, unscrew that. Alright, let's look at it from the back side. It is in there. And they're pretty good. And you can see on the other side, it crushed it. Yeah, I don't know if you guys can really see it with this camera, but yeah, it crushed it on there pretty good. So now we should be able to just put our bolt, our 12mm in. And it should bolt up tight. And I'm assuming as we tighten this thing down, it's only going to get crushed even more and be more secure in there. So, all right, let's check our level again. Yeah, we're still dead in the middle. Okay, gang, I'm going ahead and see if I can get one back here in the back so I can get rid of that whole nut and bolt assembly and simplify this thing. So I'm gonna do that, and I'll do the other side, and then we'll move on to making the leg shield bracket right there. That bolts the leg shield on. I'm gonna move that sucker down a little bit. I think like 3 inches it needs to go down, and we'll do that next. All right, guys, got the leg shield all mounted securely. It's all bolted up right there. Got the little chrome hook on it for now. And got the bag securely mounted with the nut zerts into our custom made mounts using the original shock mount for the Mad Dog on the back. So we got it in there pretty good on both sides. Alright, guys, now for the bags are not done as far as the mounting. I still need to make a bracket that goes, either extend this pipe all the way into here or bring something out to meet this. Not sure, either could bring some piece of metal or something to come out and triangle back this way for the bag mount. But I'm gonna hold off for that right now because, as you guys, I don't know if you can tell or not, but the bike is sitting amazingly high. I think you can throw a hammer all the way up under this sucker and not hit anything. But yeah, you know, normally bottom of the Mad Dogs, I mean they're way down here, but we running a 16-inch front wheel and we did a whole bunch of custom craziness in the back. So I don't know, guys, what you think? Kind of looking good to me. Now back here in this area, like I said, we're going to have a panel like the rear fender on a Harley, but I'm gonna build a custom one, make it myself. I want it just to kind of come up and go over. Now I might have to end up cutting these brackets here off. More than likely I am. That way I can just use this flat surface here to help me make those the rear fender. So alright, guys, and still gonna have to try to figure out how to lower this thing once we are done with all our fabrications and get it running. Now what I'm thinking is I'm going to have to raise this front motor mount. It's going to have to come up. Now we got plenty of room for our engine to go up, so there's plenty of room between the carb and the bottom of the seat, so that is an option. I can go ahead and just somehow maybe drill another hole up here or put a plate or run bolts right through the frame to mount our custom engine mount. I don't know, we'll figure it out when we get to that point. So oh yes, and we still have to mount the floorboard. I'm going to have to make custom mounts. I have made my mind up. I am going to keep the fuel tank up under the floorboard. So I ordered a battery cover for the floorboard so we can hide our tank away. And I'm thinking I'm gonna try to do a little something unique with it. Maybe we'll fill it all the way in. I don't know. I have this motorcycle gas tank mount. I don't know. Well, I can't freaking talk, guys. I'm tired. But I got this motorcycle tank cap. I think it's off a Yamaha or a Kawasaki 125 or something like that. So I could use that. I still have the keys to this one, so yeah, we could do some little customizing that way. But yeah, this floorboard is going to come down. That's why I had the battery kind of sitting there, so you guys can see where pretty much where I wanted it to be is like right there. So you know, this is what we're working with. Alright guys, this is going to be an episode right here. This is episode 1, so I'm thinking maybe 2-3 more episodes till this puppy is done. Yeah, guys, this is it. Project MADHOG, aka Chuck Bagger. Alright, guys. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.